Hi everybody, my name is Gudrun from GE Designs. Welcome to Facebook Friday. Welcome everybody. A little glitch in the beginning, but here we are. Thanks for being here and welcome everybody that is new. A lot of new members in the crew, so welcome, welcome, welcome. I know you're probably super excited and anticipating this weekend's fun quilt along happening this coming Sunday, May 3rd, our Hope Quilt Along. So we're going to talk a lot about that today, and including, of course, it's Friday, so I have a cocktail, and it's a cocktail, of course, called Hope. So I gave you the recipe for it. It's all, you can find it on the blog. Last Tipsy Tuesday, I put together a little document with a couple of recipes for some make-ahead snacks for Sunday. Easy to make. And then, of course, the recipe for the cocktail, just so that you could be prepared if you wanted to make one. So, and I thought I should do a little bit of a live demonstration on how to make it, because I got some questions on cocktail. So I pulled all my supplies together, and we're just gonna do this right here. I have a little tray. So first off, we want to take a shaker. Now if you don't have a shaker, don't worry about it. Get a big mason jar, something you can put a lid on and shake. So I have my this is my type. My favorite shaker is just something that you put together like this, kind of a bartender shaker. So first off, you want to take orange wedges and put it in the shaker. So I'm gonna make a double batch because Mr. Honey Producer needs one too. So I'm gonna put 4 wedges in there, and then I'm gonna put the rum in here. So it calls for 2 ounces of rum, so I'm doing 4 because I'm doing a double batch. Now, if you want to make this non-alcoholic, I would still just put the orange wedges in here, and then later it calls for some pineapple juice. So I would probably put the pineapple juice in there and still muddle my oranges. But I'm going to put my rum. It could be any rum, could be any white rum. I like Bacardi. Now, a little bit, biased because I went to the Bacardi factory in Puerto Rico when I was there, did a little tour. So I got my little muddler there, a professional Bacardi muddler. Now, I have a little story about muddlers. So I've been making cocktails for years, and it's kind of a hobby. So every Christmas when the kids were younger, they would always try and ask, Mom, what do you want for Christmas? What are some of the things you want for Christmas? And this was probably about 7, 8 years ago. And I said, you know what? I really want a muddler. And they're like, muddler? And my oldest son was like, I'm on it. And so he, of course, went on Amazon and found one. So then it's Christmas and we're opening presents, and my parents were with us from Iceland, and I opened my present and I got a muddler, and I was super excited from the kids, and it was this one. And so my dad just looks at me really funny. He's like, what did you get? I said, I got this. I got a muddler. The kids gave me a muddler. And he looked at it and he's like, the kids gave you a stick? So I was like, yes, I was super excited to get a stick from my kids. So anyways, a little side story. So now we have our oranges and rum in here. So I'm going to muddle them. And what this does, I'm just going to push down. If you don't have a muddler, most people probably don't. So just use a wooden spoon or something. If you have any kind of kitchen utensil that has a little bit of a flat that you can kind of push and get all those juices out of the oranges. And what it also does, it gets all the nice oils out of the orange rind. So it really adds a lot of flavor doing this. So we have muddled them like this, and next is adding our ice for our shaker. Put our ice in our shaker and our juice. So we have pineapple juice, and I think, what was it? 3 ounces pineapple juice. So this is actually a 6-ounce little can, so this is perfect to put in here. I'll put that in here. And then we're just going to shake this up. So we close our shaker. Now I hope I don't have a mess over here, but we're going to shake. And so you want to shake until your shaker gets really kind of icy on the outside. That's a good sign that it's well shaken. So we're going to open it up. And I have 2 glasses here with ice in it. So we're going to strain it because we don't want the oranges in here. So I'm just going to strain it using my little strainer thingy. And so we put it, and these are 2, so I got to split them evenly. Or maybe I should get a little more. What do you think? I try and be even, try and be fair. So it's only fair. Our producer's working hard too. So there we are. Pretty good. Now again, if you wanted it non-alcoholic, just use the juice and muddle the oranges in there. And then we're gonna make this a little fancier. So we're gonna grab a little grenadine. I'm gonna pour it on the side of the glass. You can measure it out. I just eyeball it. So this is sweet. So if you want it sweeter, you can put more of grenadine. So this is a kind of a pomegranate flavored syrup. So pour it on the side, and because of the density, it falls to the bottom. So it gets really pretty. And do this on this side. Look how pretty. And then I'm going to put a little more ice in here because I'm going to fill this up. I got more ice here. Put a little more ice. And then if you want to, now I love the flavor of rum, and sometimes if you've been to the Caribbean, they do a lot with dark rum. One of my favorites is Myers, which is Jamaican rum. And you can put a little floater on top, so that adds a little depth to your drink. And the cool thing is, it will actually float on top. So you can have this little dark part on the top and really cool red on the bottom. So it's kind of like, I thought of this cocktail because I was thinking of hope, and so there's always so much hope every day, and when a new day starts, right? We have hope for a great day. So the sunrise, so this is like hope rising, right? So cheers everybody. I forgot my straw. What you want to do probably before you drink it is stir it up, but here you go, Mr. Producer. You get yours. So cheers everybody. I hope you're all having a good Friday. I gotta taste this. Even though all the rum is on top, I can't stir it up. Well, I can use my stick to stir it. So we'll just do that. But it's just really pretty to serve it like this when it's layered, because it's so cool, and then you can stir it up. Very tasty. So I hope you're having a great Friday, and make sure you put your name and where you're tuning in from in the comments. Always fun to kind of follow along and see where everybody's tuning in from. Now I hope you are as excited about Saturday or Sunday as I am. I can't wait. I have my fabrics. I kind of last Tuesday forgot to really show you my fabrics that I'm going to be using, because I'm making one more quilt. And of course I got this one bound. I've got another version of Hope quilted that I want to show you a little bit later. But I want to just talk about a few things, because I've gotten a lot of emails, and that's great. So if you need any help, send me emails. First off, I wanted to talk about shipping. If you're placing orders with GE Designs, first off, I want to just thank you very, very much. This is making us, keeping us in business and making me be able to provide all these free videos for everybody. And so I really appreciate that. We try and ship out same day, or next day, sometimes same day if you order early. But with the amount of orders, of course, we're just limited to us as staff, so we have to just go in order, and ordering and packaging rulers and things like that takes a little bit longer, because I don't know if you've ordered a ruler from us before. We want to package it really nicely so it's safe and gets there safe. So if your order hasn't gone out, it's probably we haven't either haven't gotten to them. There was a little delay in the next shipment of our XL ruler, so we are getting our shipment on Monday for the XL. So if you ordered an XL in yesterday or today, we will be shipping them out after the weekend. Unfortunately, just because everything is delayed, as you may have noticed with USPS. There are delays. What I've noticed though, it's different between parts of the country, and oddly enough, I've been seeing the most delays happening when I'm shipping to Michigan and Ohio. So I'm wondering what is happening there. It must be a sorting facility that's really low staffed or has some staffing issues, is my guess. But we just have to be patient and give these workers some credit. They're doing their best. But I know it's frustrating. So we do have an option for UPS shipping as well if you're thinking domestic within the states, and we have DHL for international. So it works quite a bit faster than USPS because, you know, everybody's on low staff right now. So I wanted to mention that. Now, if you're having issues with accessing your hope pattern, now what I always have tried to kind of put out there is that if you purchase any digital patterns or any of the video classes, is make sure you set up an account, because then you can always just go to the website, sign into your account, and then view your downloadable files. So all of your content will be in your account. Now, many that have been having issues, there's a couple of things happening. Maybe you have 2 different emails, so your orders are on 2 different emails. And so, unfortunately, with digital purchases, the order gets tied to the email that you order with, and it's a security thing, so we can't just change the email and put stuff in somebody's account. We couldn't even do that because everything is encrypted and stuff like that. So if you don't have an account, we can sometimes change the email and it'll work, and you can set up an account after that. But the other thing that's happening is misspellings in your email when you place an order. So just be careful on that, and that might be one of the issues that you're having. If you don't get a notification after you order, right after you order, if you don't receive a notification, that's probably the issue, or maybe check your spam folders and all that. Now, even if you don't have an account and you purchased Hope, don't worry, you will always still get an email whenever there's an update to the pattern. So you always get that email, and you can always just click on the link in the email to get you to your pattern, where you can click on it. And as soon as you click on that and pull up the pattern, that counts as a download. So then it saves either to your phone or saves to the download folder on your computer. And you can print it out to whatever you want to do with that. So any questions on that? Now, if you're having issues, I see there's one question on YouTube that having issues with getting into your account. Please email me, Gudrun at gequiltdesigns.com, and that's the best way to reach me. Don't post on Facebook, because those posts, we have so many posts, so I sometimes never see them. I can't be on Facebook all day long, unfortunately. I've got stuff to do. But if you email me, I try to get to all of the emails and work something out to figure out what is happening. All right, any other questions? Susan says, thank you for the gift certificate from Tuesday. Good, you got it, so you are ready to go. Mary says, I really wanted your hummingbird bundle. Will you be making more? Yes, I have an update on some of those bundles that sold out really fast. I'll talk about that a little bit later. Okay, so I wanted to show you something really amazing. You know, quilters, you guys are so amazing, and I'm so proud and honored to have you be a part of my group here on Facebook. I think we have an amazing community, really kind, helpful group. And so one of the things that I got in the mail this last week, I wanted to show you, because, you know, I do these sew-alongs and things. And for example, the Elvira, when we did the first Quilt Along, Quarantine Quilt Along, I made 3 different slideshows of the Elvira quilts, and they still keep coming, and they're beautiful, and it's lovely, and I love the fact that I can always go see them in the photo album on my group. So if you want to look at some Elvira or any other quilts, you just have nothing to do, go to the photos and just scroll through all these quilts. But I received a package in the mail, and from Barb, and I just wanted to read this note that I got. Thank you so much for all that you have done for us quilters. I really enjoyed Elvira, and the pictures keep coming, so I didn't get them all. But she made a picture book for me, and I love that, because I don't realize that I never have a physical thing, but she put some Elvira quilts in here from our slideshow, and I just love that. I will really cherish this forever, and it will just always remind me of that day. So I just thought it was amazing. So thank you so much, Barb. I really do appreciate this, and I'm going to cherish this. Something that will always stay with me. So I'm so excited about the Elvira, the Hope response. So we need to spread the word even further, because I'm going to give you an update on how much we have raised, and we're so close. We are at $29,542. We are $500 from $30,000. So I think that is so awesome. And so if you have some friends that are thinking about joining in, give them a little nudge, and we can get to 30 grand. That would be so amazing. So thank you so much, all of you that have donated and are going to be a part of this really fun day. So I wanted to now talk about Hope and any questions you have about the yardage. I saw some comments on after Tipsy Tuesday, some confusion, and I wanted to just clarify some of that stuff. Now, I gave you this last Tuesday, so this is now in your account, which is the cutting instructions for Hope, because you wanted to get going on the cutting. Understand that. What has been causing most of the confusion is the two different columns or two different tables. So one is really for if you wanted to use fat quarters and make a scrappy quilt, so not using an accent. If we could put up the Scrappy Hope, the one with, yeah, that first one, Hope, the light years one. So this one. So if you don't have a singular accent fabric or a single accent color, this is how it would look. So if you were working from fat quarters or half yards, you would cut all your 10-inch squares and your 2.5-inch strips from the fat quarters. So that is that first table. So you're also cutting your binding from those fat quarters. So that's why there's no separate binding cutting on here. On the bottom, this is if you're using just 10-inch squares, either from a layer cake pack, and then you want to use an accent fabric. So for example, the quilt behind me, we can put up the Hope medallion, the one with the yellow, also this one. So those are examples on where there's an accent fabric. So that is when you follow that bottom column or bottom table. Now some of you got confused because you have fat quarters and you wanted to use fat quarters and then also an accent fabric. So don't worry about that. So all you will do, just cut your fat quarters from your cut your 10-inch squares from your fat quarters. So the first part of the top table, and then you cut your accent fabric according to the bottom table. Now the other confusing thing that people thought about is, you know, the header of the table. It says the size of the quilt, and this is just how I always write my patterns. It's confusing because you only have the first page of the pattern right now. Here I say 12 of each block, and people were confusing the block with squares. So 12 of each block. We're going to make two different blocks, so that's still going to be 24 blocks, so you will need 24 squares. Does that make sense? So don't think about anything up here. The cutting is all below the blue, always below the blue stuff, okay? So up here is just how many blocks we're making. It's nice to have once we're making a pattern so you know how many blocks you're making. So any other questions that I can clarify with this? And so yes, I showed you last Tuesday how to cut your squares and how to cut your rectangles for the middle strip of the block, whether you want it accent, whether you want it standing out, or if you're gonna just have them all different colors. So those are gonna get cut into 15-inch long rectangles. So you will always have to have same number of rectangles as squares. Does that make sense?
Is there a way to use fabric less than 10-inch squares?
Is there a way to use fabric less than 10-inch squares? So yes, you could. You would just have to trim your blocks smaller, end up with smaller blocks. And that's something we can talk about on Sunday. But and I can, show you once we get to that part. But just know that you're going to have smaller blocks and smaller quilts. And I will not be giving you instructions for all the different sizes you want to start with. Okay, I'm going to give you instructions to start with 10-inch squares, but you can adjust from there.
Are the layer cake quantities correct? 24 or 48 lap?
Susan is asking, are the layer cake quantities correct? 28 or 24? 24, you need 24 squares for crib size, 48 squares for lap size. Yes, that is correct. All right. Okay, so any other questions? 48 10-inch squares if you're doing the lap size. Okay. Now, somebody said something about I only see something in my, I don't see the cutting instructions. So if you're having any issues of not finding these documents, email me. It's hard for me to find your comments in a live show. And so just email me. Easiest way to reach me directly. All right. Somebody is saying there's a little bit of an echo. And that's just because we're using a different mic. When the show started, you might have seen it. My lapel mic wasn't working, so we are switching to another mic. So that might sound a little bit different than normal. I hope you can still hear me well. Okay, I think I don't see any more questions. All right, well, that's great. Now, I wanted to show you this Light Years quilt that I have. I'm gonna put my drink out of the way. So the Light Years quilt was also quilted by my friends at Cars Quilting, and that's, of course, all the Light Years fabrics. And so there's little, I don't know if you can see this, there's circles and stars, but I put Minky on the back of this because I think this would be a great cuddle quilt for my grandson when he's older, and then he turns off the lights and there's glow in the dark. But I'm going to lay this on and put the overhead camera so you can see the pattern. It's really cool, kind of a galaxy quilting. Isn't that awesome? It's like a perfect quilting pattern for this quilt. And if Kim, if you're watching, I'm sure those of you that have long arms would love to know the name of this design or what kind of panto this is. So maybe you can answer that because I don't know. I don't know. But awesome job, and I love how this turned out. So it'll be bound by Sunday once we start on Sunday. That's exciting. I'm always excited to start with 2 ready quilts. Okay, so another thing that somebody asked about, and I talked about it briefly on Tuesday because I was showing you how you cut your strips, and if you have leftovers, to cut them into the 4.5-inch rectangles right away so that you can make the Tony quilt, for example, and use these as your leaders and enders. And some people, that was a totally new term. This term is not made up by me. It's actually made up by Bonnie Hunter. She came up with this. She has books on leaders and enders. And some of you maybe didn't get, if you haven't been quilting for a long time, didn't understand what I was talking about. So I want to explain it to somebody that is totally new to quilting. So when we're quilting, when we're sewing a bunch of blocks, what we want to do is we want to chain piece. You might not have heard that term before, and that means when we are sewing our blocks, we take one block and we're sewing it, and instead of pulling it out of the sewing machine and cutting the threads, we're going to take the next one and just feed them automatically through. So you're chain piecing. So that way we save a lot of thread because we're just, all the blocks are connected. We save a lot of time because we take that whole chain to this ironing board and then we cut them apart and iron them. But it's always that first seam where we have, always have that thread, and sometimes you have to hold the thread so the fabric doesn't get eaten into the machine or get tangled. And so a lot of folks have like a little scrap fabric that they start with, and then when they're finished with the last block, instead of ripping the threads and leaving a space, they will sew through a little piece of fabric and then cut it. So there's always a little piece of fabric hanging there, so saving a little bit of thread. However, when you do that, you're wasting kind of thread through that little piece. So leaders and enders is actually having something to start with and finish with that is not connected to the project you're working on. So using these, you could just start sewing them together at the beginning, and then when you are finishing each of the blocks or your chain piecing project, whatever, and then you're kind of automatically piecing this on the side, and as you finish your quilt, you might have quite a few of these units already done. So it's just a way to save some thread, and it's kind of really fun. You didn't really feel like you were making 2 projects at a time, and when you're done with one project, all of a sudden you have quite a lot done on another. So it's always kind of fun to have a leader and ender going while you are working on a bigger project. All right. Okay. Linda's asking, how do I get you live on computer? I have you on the phone, but want a computer on Sunday. So same thing. You would just go on your, on Facebook. And so go into, we're going to be live on GE Quilt Designs, on GE Designs on Facebook, or if you want to go to YouTube, you make sure you go to GE Designs, the page, and make sure you like it and sign up for notifications. So then whenever you are on Facebook, when we go live, you'll get a notification. So you can click on that and go there. Same thing if you want to watch on YouTube. You will just make sure to follow our, be a follower or like our page, or follow our, subscribe to what it is. That's what it is. Subscribe to our YouTube channel and sign up for notifications, and then you will get a notification whenever we are live. That is the best way. All right. Gail says, yes, that quilting is perfect for that quilt, and I love the Minky. Yeah, it's awesome. It's perfect for the quilt, and the density of it is also perfect for using a Minky. Usually when I do Minky on the back, I don't want it too dense, and so this is like a perfect density. You don't want to stitch it too much because you want it to be soft and cuddly as well. All right. Okay, do we have any more questions on the leaders and enders? We good on that? That's great. So love to educate. I love to, have people discover different things. So last Tuesday, I also introduced you to the guests I'm going to have live. I'm very excited about my guests. And so we're going to have 4 amazing guests that are big names in the industry. First off, I want to talk about Pat Sloan. She is a designer extraordinaire, an author. She used to have a quilting radio show. She has multiple groups on Facebook. And so we've known each other for years. I started going to Quilt Market in the early 2000s. So it's going to get going on 20 years. And I believe I met her probably 14, 15 years ago first. So it's really fun to be able to connect with her. And like I said, she also has a baby lock. So Larry's the same machine as my new machine. And so I'm gonna ask her some questions that I haven't gotten to. I'm so excited about the machine, but it's not enough time in the day to try all the stuff I want to try.
You sell those t-shirts?
Oh, you like my t-shirt? So this is a new one that I had my lady just she sent me 3 different ones, so and I'm testing them out, and we'll have them in the store. But I want to put them through the quality test first, so I will. I really wanted a long sleeve, but we'll have some short sleeves too, of course, summer. But it's great to have long sleeves in the winter, and if you don't want to have a short sleeve.
Did you put batting in between with the Minky?
Deb asks, did you put batting in between with the Minky? I do. I just do a lightweight poly is my preference, because Minky gets a little bit heavy. So I put a light batting. We live in Minnesota, so it's always nice to have a nice cuddly quilt. But there are different versions of Minky. There's one, I don't know, it's not called Minky. It's kind of fuzzy on both sides. I ordered it one time by accident. And so since it was so thick and it was almost like fleece because it was that fuzz on both sides, I decided not to put any batting in that, and that quilt is very nice. It's very soft and cuddly that way anyways, but I still quilted it. So I do put most times I put batting in my...
What size shirt are you wearing?
Oh, I don't even know. Probably a medium, I would guess. I have to check. I'll have to check, but I think this one is a medium. Okay. Any other...
I like this shirt.
Like the shirt. Okay, great. Love the long sleeve. That's perfect. Yeah, I like this color too. It's kind of that heathery grayish blue. But I got a couple other colors, so we'll see. But it's really nice and soft. That's always my criteria. It needs to be soft and not shrink. So, okay. Oh, somebody said the quilting design might be called Galaxy by Anne Bright Designs. Thank you for that, Lisa, that comment on YouTube. So that's great. Awesome. All right, so I wanted to show you my fabric. Yes, so my fabric, I always love to dive into my collection. So in my previous episodes of Tipsy Tuesday, I've talked about how I store my scrap, how I cut my leftovers down. So I went to my piles and I saw I had I had some favorite fabrics. There's been favorite fabrics that have been sitting with me for a while, and here's one of them. I love Tim Holtz, and this has been a favorite fabric, and I've been wanting to use it for something and never really found an opportunity to do that one, and then also the clocks, this one. And so I decided, okay, now I'm going to do that. So I started with these two, and then I went to my bins of 10-inch squares and started pulling all these grays and taupes that I think will work really well with it. So they're kind of different tones of grays and taupes and kind of, yeah, all these fun. And look at this fun shoe print. This, I actually just bought this fat quarter not too long ago when I was teaching in, where was I teaching? Wisconsin. Yeah. And then from my Lucy quilt, when I did the Lucy quilt, and I actually had fat quarters and half yards, and I cut all my 10-inch squares from that, but I had never done anything with my 2.5-inch strip. So usually when I'm working with fat quarters and half yards, I will cut a 10-inch strip and then 2.5-inch strips. And so I saved all those. So I am using all of my chartreuse leftovers from Lucy for the accent. So they're all different fabrics. So I don't even know how many of each I have. Oh, I had to throw this one in there, the lime cocktail print. I had to do that. So that's going to be really fun. So there'll be kind of a grayish, taupish into a little bit of charcoal in my 10-inch squares, and then all of my accents will be these chartreusey lime delicious colors. So what do you think about that? I'm kind of excited about that. So we'll see how it turns out. Yeah. Any other questions on Hope? We have a question from Facebook, from YouTube. Do you pre-wash your fabrics for the top of the quilt when you use Minky background? I do not. No, Minky does not shrink, and so it really stays as it is. So washing your fabrics, if you're worried about your fabric shrinking, I've just noticed that if you have fabric shrinkage, it's very, very little. I mean, it's very little. So I have not ever had any issues with because I wash my quilts all the time after they're quilted. And so the Minky, it will not do anything, even though the fabric isn't pre-washed. All right, unless you have something that is not really the best thread count, maybe I would consider it. Okay. Okay. Is there a way we should have our squares layered or ordered for cutting? Maybe make sure they aren't repeating or darks are spread out. That's something that we're going to talk about on Sunday, but there's nothing really that's going to save you time right now to do that now. So I wouldn't worry about it. Oh, Mary's asking, what size are you making? Well, I always overcut just because I get too excited and then I find one more fabric, so I throw it in. So I cut enough for the lap size. If I really like it, I might make it bigger for a bed, but I can always make more blocks. That's the beautiful thing about most of my patterns and going scrappy is that if you are really loving what you're doing, you can always just get more scrappy fabric and make more blocks, and you can mix them in. Just as long as you don't start putting your quilt together until you have all your blocks done, you can always mix them in. Okay, another question. Who besides Pat Sloan? Oh, I just talked about Pat Sloan. Sorry, I'm a little scatterbrained. So Pat Sloan. Then I want to talk about Nancy Jewell, and she works for Free Spirit Fabrics and the Jaftex companies. I've known Nancy. She has worked for Coates and Clark, and so she's been in the industry for a really long time. Been friends for a really long time, and I work with the Free Spirit Fabrics a lot. We did some huge projects last year. And so it'll be fun to chat with her and see what's going on over at Free Spirit. And then we will have my friend Doug Lico. He is a designer from Minnesota as well as me. He is an amazing young man. He is also my Moda rep, works for Moda. But he just came out with his book called Tabletastic. He writes amazing books and patterns, has a great knack for design. He's a great teacher as well. And he started when he was just a little boy, and his mom owned a quilt shop, and he was working in his mom's quilt shops, and I think he was still in his teens when he wrote his first pattern. So it'll be fun to chat with Doug and catch up with him. And then we have the amazing Lisa Alexander. She works for Moda. And so I'm going to check in with her, see what's going on over there. She's also an amazing designer. She writes books and patterns and has written a few books for Martingale and does all the compilation books where we have the multiple Moda designers in a book, and oversees a lot of that. And she's also my scrap sister. She loves to do scrappy stuff just like me, so we're always on the same wavelength of as pertains to what we like in quilting. So always fun to meet up with her, and so I can't wait to catch up with her, see what's going on over there. She just actually had a book come out earlier this year, I believe. Sisterhood of Scraps, you might have heard of it, so it's really cool. Okay, any other questions? I think that was all the guests. And I also wanted to talk about, for Sunday, kind of a motivation to be with us live is that we're going to have some amazing prizes. So we are being sponsored by some amazing fabric companies that are going to sponsor some prizes. So we have Moda and we have Free Spirit that will be donating prizes. We also have Maywood and we have P&B that are excited to be a part of our Quilt Along and are going to donate some prizes. Of course, G Designs will donate some prizes too. So we will be pulling prizes randomly from the live comments on both YouTube and Facebook. And so all you have to do is just be with us live and throw in a comment, and we will announce the winners on the show. So the 5 times that I go live. Okay. Yeah, we love prizes. It's great. So I wanted to talk about also questions about the playlist. It is coming together. We don't have it ready yet. So somebody was asking about if it was ready and where to find it. It's not ready yet, but of course, the full pattern will be in your accounts tomorrow morning, 24 hours before the Quilt Along. So which means 9 a.m. Central Time tomorrow morning, you will be able to print out the full Hope pattern. So if you want to read through it and do all of that, that will be available tomorrow. And also at that time, we will be putting a playlist link on our blog. So you will find that on the blog, just like all of where the recipes are. There will be a Spotify link there that you can click on. If you have Spotify, it'll just automatically open up your app and you can save that playlist in there. Or if you don't have it, can take you to in your browser on your computer, and you can just listen from there. So that's all very exciting, and we have some great ideas for songs going on. We're going to have a fun dance along on Sunday. All right. Okay, so Nina says, I've been cutting today for Sunday, and I'm using a mystery bundle I got, which was so exciting to open. Such a fun surprise. Good. Yeah, we are putting together more mystery bundles. So let me give you an update on all of the bundles. So we have, we got Botanic Garden and Tea Time from Louis and Irene, and they sold out instantly. So for everybody, we're getting more next week. So don't worry. I will put them up once they're in-house and ready to be shipped out. So they will be on the website early next week. We are actually getting today. It was supposed to arrive yesterday, but we're experiencing delays with FedEx and UPS too. We are getting the tulip bundle, which I already put up on the website. And so we're cutting that as soon as the boxes arrive and shipping most of them out tomorrow, those of you that have already ordered. And then we're also getting the hummingbird. So I have not put that up yet because there's going to be a little bit different fabrics in there than our first bundle. So I wanted to make sure that I can take a picture and post it. So look out for that tonight or tomorrow morning. Okay, Nini's asking, Robin is asking, what time do the guests come on? So for Sunday, the first session, there's a schedule in that first document that you got with the Hope. And so the first segment, I will be by myself because I'm kind of getting you all going and demonstrating the first steps in the pattern. And then the guests will be on the next 4 consecutive times where I come on. So they usually come on about 5 minutes into each live segment. So that'll be that. And then somebody's asking, how long is each segment of the live broadcast? We try and keep it no longer than 45 minutes. So between 30 and 45 minutes. So I do all the demonstrations. So the first one, sometimes it did stretch close to an hour because I was kind of demonstrating a lot and talking about a lot of things. But usually we try and keep it under an hour so that I can give you some time and I can breathe between segments and maybe get a little sewing done too. Cindy's asking who makes tea time. It's Louis and Irene. They make tea time. Stormy's asking, are the guests also making hope? Yes, most of them are. I think not all of them. So it'll be exciting to see their fabrics and what they're going to be working with. Okay, Kathleen's asking, when will the standing stash be available? Standing stash. I don't know what you mean. If you're talking about the stash builders that I was saying that are coming next week. So we have Botanical Garden and Tea Time coming next week. They're supposed to arrive Tuesday or Wednesday. So by the end of next week. So we will be live for Tipsy Tuesday, and I can give you a more clear update on when things are. Hopefully by then we have them online. However, I'm putting one new one on. So you might have seen if you've gone through our store, I have a lot of stash builder bundles that are kind of the basics. So we have a light bundle, a gray bundle, black, red, green, brown, and what else? Oh, chartreuse and yellow, sunshine. And so there's one more being added because we had a Denim Days bundle, which was kind of blues. So this time I wanted a blue bundle. I love navies, and I wanted to put together a blue one. So we just cut this one. So I just thought I'd show you. So we will be updating a lot of our basics. I have a pink one in the works. And so, but these bundles are kind of just meant to be a lot of great basics and in different hues of blues. So we have all the different hues. I love being able to, that's one of my favorite things. I can go into my stash and find the perfect shade of whatever color. That's kind of the idea of having a good stash, or a collection, as I like to call it. But this one is going to be called, I wasn't sure if I should call it the Navy Bundle or the Navy Blues, or Got the Blues. Blues Clues. I don't know. The producer's usually very creative with his name, so maybe have to dive into his brain a little bit. But this will be either the Navy Blues bundle. So great basics and great variety. I like to have a great variety of textures, so they're not all the same texture. We have another shade of this one with a little bit brighter blue and a really great kind of a grayish blue texture. So this is our navy blue bundle that will be available. I'll put it up on the website this evening or this afternoon, late afternoon, once we are done here, and we'll be updating more. I know some of ours were out of stock, so another one I thought I'd mention, we have a Lupin bundle, which is kind of purples and kind of magenta, purples and violets, and then we have an Aurora bundle, which is more kind of teals and turquoise and aqua colors. So in the navy, oh, I like that, Melanie, thank you. In the navy bundle. I love that. All right, so yeah, we'll be adding that. Like I said, we have a pink one and an orange one in the works. It's just collecting. Sometimes I have to collect for a while and then they're ready to put together. All right, what is the least amount of different fabrics you can use? So of course you can do whatever you want. In each block you are going to have 4 different ones from a layer cake, and then of course the accent. So I would always say the least, I would say double, so 8. And if you have 12, you are really good. But 8, I would say, would be the least for me, just so that you can have enough variety. So when you're putting the blocks together, you're not always connecting the same fabrics. I just like, there's something about when you're a scrappy quilter, like the same fabrics, they can't touch. They can't touch. It's like stepping on lines when you're walking on the sidewalk. Okay, just a question about the recipes. The hummus is named roasted red pepper, but did I forget to put the red pepper in there? Oh boy, I did. Thank you for that, Jackie. there's supposed to be a roasted red pepper in there. I will fix that and update that document right now. I'm so sorry. This would not taste right. So I just use a canned or a jar of roasted red pepper. You can roast them yourself. It's just too much work and too stinky for me. Ben is asking, is there going to be any more projects after Hope? You never know. I always have projects going on and always have sew-alongs going on. So here in Minnesota, our shelter at home order just got extended into May 18th, I believe. And even then, I think we're going to be pretty much staying home. So who knows? We might have some more fun stuff going on. And thank you for watching, Ben. It's always great. Ben is a newer quilter, so I'm excited to have a young man joining us. All right. When will the Scandi stash be available? Scandi stash is like we're talking about something we shouldn't have. We should have. Scandi, the order was placed 2 weeks ago, but of course it's a fabric company that's based in New York, so they have a lot of limitations on their staff. And I was informed after I asked about it that the average of getting the orders out is about 2 weeks. So it's coming up on 2 weeks, so we're hoping that we see a shipping notification for it. But I will, as soon as I know more, as soon as I get the shipping notification, I will let you know and plan ahead. Where can I find the pattern for Tony? Go to the website and go to shop, and on the bottom there's a link that says free patterns, and so Tony is in there just like a couple other ones like the little Kim, and so you go through the ordering process just like you're ordering anything else, but it's $0. And then if you have an account, it will be in your account, which is nice. Okay, any other questions for today? Do we cut 2.5-inch strips other than from the accent fabric? No, if you're using accent fabric, that's the only 2.5-inch strips you're gonna use. Okay. When are we starting on Sunday morning? If you purchase the pattern, you got this first document, which has, where is it? First page. I don't have it. It's here somewhere. But on that first document, you will have the schedule, but I will be going live first at 9 a.m. Central Time. So that is 10 a.m. Eastern, 7 a.m. West Coast. And that will be, what will be? 9, so it'll be, I can't even do the math. 2 o'clock Icelandic time, 2 p.m. Okay, Leslie's asking, can you go over again, please? I'm using fat quarters on Sunday, but want to use a contrast fabric also. How does that change the cutting? From your fat quarters, just cut your 10-inch squares and then cut your accent fabric according to the accent fabric. So you really are going to follow just the top line of the fat quarter cutting, just cutting your squares, and then you move down here and cut your accent fabric according to that. All right. Leanne is asking, I want Aurora bundle. When will you have more? We're working on it right now. So the inventory updates will probably be happening tonight. So, okay, that's good. I think we're there. Now, of course, we're going to end it with a question, a giveaway question. We have a giveaway today for a $25 gift card to the GE Designs, GEQuiltDesigns.com store. And I thought about this, what should I ask? It's always kind of hard for me to come up with innovative questions for you. But of course, spring is in the air. It's May Day. Happy May Day. So a lot of people have been out in their garden, and I have to admit, I'm kind of a gardener wannabe. I really love flowers and would love to be a master gardener, but I just am not. I do not have very green fingers, if that's what it's called. I want,
Green thumb.
Thumbs, green thumbs, green fingers, whatever. Yeah, drink to that. That's a good one. But here's my question to you, whether you have great green thumbs or not. What is your favorite flower? It might be just an artificial one. I don't know. Now, I have some favorite flowers. I love peonies. I love hydrangeas. I love tulips. Yeah, those three I would say top. But I love other flowers as well. So I wish I was a great gardener. But I think it's based on I just don't have the time to do it. So I try and do those ones that I can grow with little maintenance. I'm really, really proud that my orchid that I was given when I moved into the new house is still alive. It's hanging in there. So I'm proud of that. But other than that, I've been not very successful with my indoor plants. So that's my excuse that I'm too busy sewing. Okay, so I wanted to just finish off with, of course, I will see you Sunday at 9 a.m. Central Time, right? But after that, of course, there will be a Tipsy Tuesday episode, May 5th at 7 p.m. with kind of a review of our Sunday, and then, of course, following Friday as well. But I want to finish with this. I just think this name for our quilt, Hope, is so fabulous. So tomorrow morning and on Sunday, as I do my instructions, you will be receiving Hope. And all throughout the day on Sunday, we will be experiencing hope and creating hope. And so then we can actually follow it up and give hope to someone else. And by just being together and doing this all together, we're giving hope to all of us and to each other. So I can't wait for Sunday. I think it's going to be a great day. I'm excited, and I hope you are. And let's just keep it positive and keep smiling, and have a great rest of your Friday and a great weekend. See you Sunday morning.